Hello, my friends. I'm so glad you've joined me today. There's something I want to talk to you about, something that I believe is one of the greatest obstacles to our peace and happiness, our ego. We live in a world that constantly pulls us in different directions, asking us to define ourselves by what we own, what we achieve, and how we're seen by others. But what if I told you that this very thing, this sense of self that we cling to, could be the very thing that prevents us from experiencing true joy and inner peace? Ego. We all have it. It's the part of us that wants to be noticed, to be praised, to feel important. It tells us we are separate from others, that we need to compete to prove our worth. But in truth, the ego is like a heavy chain that binds us to a constant state of unrest. It keeps us focused outwardly. When I first began my journey as a monk, I was searching for peace. But no matter how much I meditated, how many rituals I performed, I could never shake the feeling that something was missing. It was only when I began to understand the ego's influence that I realized the source of my discomfort. One of my teachers once told me something that stayed with me. The more you feed the ego, the more it grows. The more it grows, the more it demands. And the more it demands, the further you move from peace. I didn't understand it fully at first, but over time, I came to see it as a deep truth. The ego feeds on validation, on comparison, on the idea that we are different from others. And as long as we believe in that, we will forever feel empty, no matter how much we accumulate. You see, the ego creates a sense of I and mine. It's always about what we have, what we've done, and how we are perceived. But when we stop and look deeply, when we observe with an open heart, we realize that we are not separate from the world around us. The trees, the sky, the river, we are all part of the same whole, and in that recognition, the ego fades away. One of the first lessons I learned was the importance of humility. I had been so focused on trying to prove myself, trying to be someone in the world, that I had forgotten how to simply be. I remember a time when I was younger, before I took the vow of silence, when I had a conversation with a fellow monk. He was someone I admired greatly, and yet as we spoke, I found myself trying to impress him, telling him about my thoughts, my ideas, my accomplishments. But he didn't respond in the way I hoped. Instead, he smiled and said, "You don't need to tell me who you are. I can see who you are by how you are with the world." In that moment, I realized the truth of his words. I was so focused on creating an image of who I wanted to be that I had forgotten to just be. When you stop trying to be something you're not, when you stop grasping at the world with an ego-driven desire to prove your worth, that's when peace begins to settle in. Letting go of the ego isn't easy. It's a practice, a lifetime of returning to stillness, of observing our thoughts, of noticing when the ego is whispering in our ear, telling us we are not enough, or that we need more. But each time you notice it, and each time you let it go, you create a small space of peace within yourself. Let me share a small practice with you. Whenever you feel the weight of your ego pulling at you, try this. Take a few moments to close your eyes, take a deep breath, and just observe. Notice how you're feeling. Are you trying to impress someone? Are you seeking approval? Recognize that these feelings are temporary. They are not who you truly are. You are not defined by your position, your job, or your social media profile. You are pure awareness connected to everything and to everyone. Think of the river. It flows effortlessly without need for recognition. It doesn't seek validation from the rocks or the trees. It simply flows, and in that flowing, it is free. One of the greatest gifts you can give yourself is the gift of letting go. Let go of the need to be someone in the eyes of others. Let go of the need to be right, to be seen, to be validated. And in that space, you will find something far more precious: peace, clarity, and the wisdom to live a life that is not controlled by the ego's endless demands. So, my friends, I invite you to reflect. Where in your life is your ego holding you back? Where can you let go just a little bit and find the freedom of simply being? Remember, true happiness is not something you acquire. It is something you uncover when you stop clinging to the false stories you tell yourself about who you are. Thank you for being here with me today. May you find peace, may you let go of the need to control, and may you live in harmony with the world around you. Until next time, be well.